just take a moment, but still very happy. A brand ambassador of the 10th edition and somebody, we're obviously talking a lot about 2024, but go back to 2007 because Rohit Sharma was a part of each and every edition of the ICC World T20. A young Rohit Sharma who won it as a player in 2007 and then in 2024 as a captain. I'm sure the memories are running and jogging right into your head, Rohit. But tell us, after the long celebrations out there on the field finished, and you went back into the dressing room when the dust settled for you, for Virat, for Rahul Dravid, for Jaddu, what was that moment of realization that afternoon?
Firstly, good evening, everyone. I would, from the bottom of my heart, like to thank ICC, Jay for, it's a huge honor to be an ambassador of an ICC organization. And I was told by somebody just now that while playing, nobody has been announced as an ambassador of ICC. So it's a great privilege for me. And a great honor as well. Very thankful, very grateful. Hopefully, we can create again a magic that we created last year, with a different bunch of boys this time around. But yes, it's a huge task to win an ICC trophy. I have seen that personally as well with all these years. I've completed 18 years playing international cricket, and I've been fortunate enough to have won 2 recently, and then 2 at the very beginning of my career. And then in the middle, it was a huge drought where we couldn't win an ICC trophy. And I know how desperate we were as players, as team, as management to go and win that trophy. But to finally come out and win those trophies feels good. You can see, around the country how happiness, the amount of happiness that is spread with the sport that we play. So yes, that's one thing. But now to sit on the other side and watch the T20 World Cup, having played all the World Cups and not being there now, will feel a little different. But now I'm getting used to sitting at home and watching a few games. So yeah, so it's a little different, but I'm enjoying.
Sitting at home, sitting in the stadium, watching the women win. I will come to that in a moment. But thank you, Jai, because this is obviously special for Rohit for bestowing this honor. This is very special for the fans. Big thank you to you. We will be in conversation with Rohit and the other champions shortly from now. But if I could request you to please get ready for the lamp lighting as we take this evening forward. And just the right moment for us to quickly recap the venues where we are going to be witnessing that celebration of possibilities, as Mr. Sanjay Gupta mentioned a short while earlier. It'll be traveling to 7 beautiful cities. There are 8 venues. There are 20 teams that will come out dreaming, and there will be that one trophy and that title up for grabs. The Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi, the iconic, the oldest in the country, the Eden Gardens in Kolkata, the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai, the biggest cricket stadium in the world in the West, Narendra Modi Stadium, the Wankhede in Mumbai, and then to the picturesque city up in the hills, Pallikele International Stadium in Kandy, the R. Premadasa and Celilis Sports Club in Colombo, the venues for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup for 20 innings. The lighting of the ceremonial lamp. Could I also please request President BCCI, Mr. Mithun Manas, the Vice President BCCI, Mr. Rajiv Shukla, the Secretary BCCI, Mr. Devjit Saikia, the President of Sri Lanka Cricket, Mr. Shami Silva, our Women's World Cup champion, Captain Harmanpreet Kaur, and a trailblazer who's redefining T20 batting, who will be carrying the weight of expectation, Surya Kumar Yadav, to please come up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, could I request you for a huge round of applause as they illuminate the beginning of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026 journey. As we light this lamp, we illuminate the spirit of sportsmanship, unity, and the global excitement building towards the Men's T20 World Cup. May this flame symbolize a bright and inspiring journey ahead. For all our viewers joining us from different parts of the world, this lamp represents not just tradition, but the spark of passion that cricket ignites across nations. With this glow, we mark the beginning of our countdown to the Men's T20 World Cup. Let the light of this ceremony guide us into a season of peace and unforgettable cricketing moments as we step closer to the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. Very auspicious moments. It's a traditional marking of the calendar. I will request all of you, if you could please get ready for the photo opportunity, along with the trophy that's present with us in the room. Surya, Harman, everyone who is on the stage for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. If you could please get ready and return to the stage. And in the meanwhile, we will just recap what a glorious 2-decade-long journey this has been. It started in 2007 with the palpable excitement, and a new format is here and is here to stay. And with India winning at the Woolwich Wanderers in Johannesburg, it took flight. In England 2009, it was Pakistan who won at Lord's. West Indies 2010 finally saw England lift the trophy amidst crazy celebrations. In Sri Lanka 2012, it was the West Indies who laid claim on the trophy for the first time. Sri Lanka had their own dreams come true in 2014 in Bangladesh. Then India in 2016 saw West Indies win it for the second time. 21, it was Australia. 22, England winning for the second time. And then India 2024 will now enter as the holders of the World Cup. If I could request all of you to please return for a photo opportunity with the trophy. Can't let go of this moment. Rohit, Harman, Surya, if you could join Mr. Jayasha, Mr. Gupta, BCCI President, Vice President, the Secretary, and Mr. Silva from Sri Lanka Cricket. Please assemble for what is an iconic photo op, and it will be seen and splashed across everywhere from tomorrow as the excitement now officially begins to the 10th edition of this global showpiece event. We've got smiles, lots of excitement, and a big, big thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Shah. Thank you, Sanjot. Thank you, sir, all the dignitaries. Rohit, I'm going to have to request you to please stay back. With great power comes great responsibilities. And what we're looking forward to is a great interaction. Because India is currently holding 3 ICC titles. 2 belongs to your captaincy. But we will also provide some champion company for you, because here, as you've already seen her on the stage, is the trailblazer who's forever immortalized as the first captain to win the Women's World Cup for India. It is Harmanpreet Kaur.
Sounded so nice off the bat, and she's hit that as clean as light.
Harmanpreet Kaur is not mucking about here.
Smashing them as Harmanpreet Kaur.
This sends Harmanpreet Kaur is hitting the zone now. Off the tree that will ignite a nation.
Whether you were present at the DY Patil or not, let your emotions be felt and put out your heartfelt gratitude to Harmanpreet Kaur, our captain of the champion women's team, a historic occasion that was witnessed about 20 kilometers from here. Harman, thank you so much on behalf of all the Indian cricket fans, and welcome. Please take your seat. 3 ICC titles sitting right here. Rohit Sharma, Harmanpreet Kaur, 2 fearless captains. Harman, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me here and making me part of this big occasion. Means a lot.
It meant a lot to the country. It meant a lot to women's cricket. The revolution that you've sparked secured almost the future. It's been about a month, and we've seen that Harman has been very busy in that month. Have you found a moment to yourself, Harman, to just sit in peace and realize what you and your team have accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a month now, but whenever I'm trying, okay, let me now calm myself, relax myself. But I think koi na koi aage, they just keep reminding me, keep telling me what just happened, and then how excited they are. Because a few minutes back, Rohit was telling, how frustrated he was when he was not, even though he won when his first T20 World Cup, but still, that wait. Imagine how many years we waited and how frustrated we were. And finally, when we have achieved that, and it's mean a lot. And abhi bhi, just thinking that still want to, keep, us moment saying like I don't want to come out. I think that is something. It's so special, and day and night it's just turning in mind.
None of us want to come out of that moment. But I'll tell you about this man here, because the night before the final, we met him at a gathering, and he told Dinesh Karthik that I want to be there tomorrow at the final because I want to see India win a World Cup on home soil. I want to feel that moment. And when we were leaving, this is what he did. Tomorrow. This is what Rohit did. And Rohit, you were there, and it was a game that had all the emotional ups and downs. How was it sitting in the balcony and watching this?
No, it's watching from the outside is not as tough as it is inside. But I know what they've gone through all these years. I can understand the emotion. I can understand the feeling of going through that setbacks year after year and not winning the World Cup. So I understand how it feels. So while I was there, I could see the happiness amongst everyone. And that's the moment you live for. That's the moment you work so hard for, to go and win that and be there, playing the finals and going on to winning the finals. I'm sure a lot of process, a lot of hard work has went in before that World Cup started. And I know along the tournament, you still go through a lot of ups and downs. I was just asking her about, after the England game, the coach had a pretty, I know Amol Muzumdar really well because I played cricket with him. He was my first captain when I made my debut for Mumbai. And I understand him and I know him really well. So I was just asking Harman about was he calm, was he cool during the tournament. But I was not surprised to hear the answer from Harman. But that's Amol, and he's very passionate about the game. He's very passionate about the team. He's just, in general, he's very passionate. So I can even though I was not there, but I could feel it, what happened in that dressing room after that England game. But it's all in, positive way, because he wants the team to do well, and he wants the players to do well. But for them to just lift that trophy at the end of the day, watching there, I was there to watch that, was a great feeling in itself, not just for me, but the entire nation who was watching it on television or who were there at the ground as well. I could understand what it must have gone through to go through and, finally to lift that trophy.
Now is not the moment, maybe later in the conversation, because all we heard from them was Amol just doing you. We will see and explore if we can get into the details of that. But for now, these are two who have handled and carried the weight of expectations. But there is one now who is going to have to do that, and he's done a great job so far. So I think we've got another world champion already here, and we'll be wishing him luck as the captain. So let's set the stone. Unfortunately, we've only got a 180-degree platform for him to play here. But Surya Kumar Yadav will still be joining us on the stage. Can we have a little intro, VT?
Exquisite. Surya Kumar Yadav
into the action as well.
Surya Kumar Yadav, thank you very much for coming. You have to be kidding me. You can't do that. Well, you and I can't do that. Surya Kumar Yadav can. I believe what I've just seen. Under pressure, Surya Kumar Yadav calm as.
Put your hands together for Mr. 360 made in India, Surya Kumar Yadav. Good evening, Surya.
Good evening.
Is that okay, right? I mean, 180 is enough. Yeah. There's no 360. I mean, you can. There are people over there as well, the tech crew, which is eagerly waiting to hear what you've going on. When I saw that little thing when Mr. Gupta was on the stage and he said, we're hoping, Surya and his team are going to go. Is it now just feeling a lot more real? I know you've been prepping for the last year and a bit. You just come at the back of series. You've got 10 more games. But today with this formalizing and the announcement, is it feeling a lot more real now?
Good evening, everyone. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of challenge going into the T20 World Cup. I am very excited to be leading this team at the same time. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it gives me a lot of motivation looking at that trophy. When we reached West Indies, and every time we were having that national anthem, we used to eye this silverware every single time, and we thought as soon as final comes, we have to win this trophy. And after seeing it again so close, it gives me a lot of motivation. That too, playing in India, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And you played your incredible part at long off, Surya Kumar Yadav. For that moment, we can have a big round of applause. And now, obviously, we know the venues as the ICC chair announced, but let's get down into the details. Who are India going to be playing? How are the seeds coming along? So I will take a moment and do the schedule review. The top 8 seeded teams qualified basis their performance in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024, and their seeding is further defined by where they were placed in the ICC team rankings as of the 25th of July 2025. So A1 is the defending champions India, B1 is Australia, C1 is England, D1 New Zealand, D2 South Africa, C2 the West Indies, 2-time champions, B2 Sri Lanka, and A2 Pakistan. The next 4 teams also qualified basis their rankings as of the 25th of July 2025. A3 the USA, B3 Ireland, C3 Bangladesh, D3 Afghanistan. The remaining 8 teams qualified from Africa, America, Asia, East Asia Pacific and Europe regions. D4 is Canada, C4 is Nepal, B4 Zimbabwe, A4 the Netherlands. A5, a promising team from Namibia, B5 is Oman, C5 Italy, and D5 is the UAE. Seedings, the 4 groups, 20 teams, 1 dream. We'll take the conversation forward. We will ask Surya about the groups. We'll have a chat with Rohit and Harman. But for this conversation, could I also please invite on stage the ICC CEO, Mr. Sanjog Gupta. Sanjog, if you could come up on stage. We're talking about ICC's ambitions, putting the fans first, as Mr. Jayashaw mentioned as well. So we will have this conversation. Thank you so much. You've seen the groups. Let me start with you, Rohit. Which is the toughest group?
Look, it's our group obviously has Pakistan, US, and Netherlands and Namibia. They're all competitive teams. You cannot go into a tournament thinking that this is, just a walkthrough teams and all that. Not anymore. With all these teams playing so many competitive games throughout the year, around the year, and you can't take the foot off the pedal with any teams. You just have to be on the ball from right from the ball one, and then again there's no such thing as any team upsetting any team, because all these teams are quite competitive. They are watching the other teams, how they play, what they do, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. Now every team comes very well prepared. I'm quite amazed to see Italy there, which shows the growing nature of our sport, which is what we want. We want our sport to go global, and we want to see all these new teams come in and participate. And good to see, so many teams now. 20 teams is a great achievement, which shows that, the sport is only going bigger. And I hope to see many more teams in the future as well. Hopefully we can see many more teams from Europe, Africa, from Southeast Asia as well, Japan, maybe. You never know, because I have a lot of friends there. I know they play competitive cricket there. So they are looking forward to, come and compete with all these big teams. Eventually we'll see that, in years to come. We've already seen, the sport has taken a giant leap anyway in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So yeah, not getting too much into detail of, what the groups look like, because like I said, I'm going to be a little diplomatic here and say every team is competitive. We got to be ready, and that's, Surya will vouch for this, because that's how we do our team meetings as well. We don't want to take anybody lightly. We just want to go out there and play the game that we are supposed to, and not worry about what is happening elsewhere.
I'll come to you. I'll give you that moment. Harman will also talk about which possible group is going to be the group of death, as we probably like to call it. But Sanjog, just like Rohit mentioned, it's about taking the sport globally. We've taken it to Europe. Italy is coming. Nepal brings in great excitement. There is Canada. There's Ireland. Is this format and this tournament now the growth event? In this particular format, like Rohit mentioned, anybody can upset anyone. That's the nature of the sport. So considering T20 is the pinnacle of growth for the sport, is that the ICC's vision too?
Absolutely. I think Rohit hit the nail on the head. This is cricket's handshake with the world. More countries are playing T20s today than ever before. We are seeing countries compete with each other, and a stat that I mentioned earlier is T20 is a format where teams ranked lower tend to beat teams ranked higher almost half the time. So there is no such thing as a predictable outcome. And I think what Rohit spoke about as the way teams prepare for T20 is very different from the way teams tend to prepare for other formats, because it's one over that can change the complexion of the game. It's a format and it's a competition which breeds unpredictability. And that's why there are so many more countries willing to play it, investing to play in it, and receiving ICC support in getting better, elevating their standards of performances, and coming into the event more prepared than they were the previous time. So, I just echo the sentiment that Rohit's already mentioned, which is we want this sport to grow. We want more competitive teams. We want more players doing their best in the ICC tournaments. And we want to see new stories, new heroes. I remember my first, maybe the lasting memory of the T20 World Cup was a young batsman that most Indian fans had not heard of, coming in and winning the game, and his name became, remember the name, and his name became synonymous with T20 World Cups because he went on to play each of them, right? So I think those are the kind of stories we're looking for. We're looking forward to teams like Nepal, teams like Italy, as Rohit said, to come in and do their best, and it'll only make our game bigger, stronger, and more global than ever before.
Really excitement with Italy. They'll come and ask the opponents to smell the coffee, and it'll be very good coffee, that you can be sure of. Let's look at India's fixtures. So Ray will take you through India's fixtures. This is obviously the highlight that everyone would be on the lookout for millions of fans. Starts against the USA on what will be the opening. That is at the Wankhede in Mumbai, then the Arun Jaitley Stadium up against Namibia, then taking on the arch rivals at the Premadasa in Colombo, and then Netherlands at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad on the 18th of February. But goes without saying, there will be a lot of highlights of the game on the 15th. I know recently you had said that there is a lot of build-up, but it's a rivalry where the numbers are stacked heavily in India's favor. So the build-up, but the fans and everything, it's a rivalry that will be built up. Does it help that you've played them a few times off late? And how do you approach the game? Because it still tends to be on the outside, a big rivalry with fans saying there is a lot at stake.
Well, I feel the group looks quite decent. It's a T20 format. You never know which team has a good day on a given day. It's all about two batters coming out and two bowlers having a good day. But the group looks good. It's quite decent. We're playing at good venues: Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad. And then you talk about the game on the 15th. I think we've played them recently during the Asia Cup, and we had a good time. Everything was completely focused on cricket, nothing else, as you must have seen. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be a good game. Boys are always excited to have an India Park game, and they have a good time when they go on the ground.
Yeah, we will be on the lookout for that one. Arman, obviously with groups and the conditions, when you add the conditions as well, there are some where Asian teams are going to fancy their chances a lot. And when you look at Group 4, which you've got New Zealand, you've got South Africa, you've got Afghanistan, along with Canada and UAE. So that's two semi-finalists from last edition plus New Zealand. Would you term that as the group of death? New Zealand, South Africa, Afghanistan, Canada, UAE?
I think as both of them mentioned, all the groups are looking strong because it's a T20 cricket. So you never know, like as Surya said, on given day, who is going to play best cricket, you don't know. But my best wishes to Surya. I think they are going to play best cricket.
I take it Surya's keenly following each and every group, making a few notes. But winning the World Cup at home, Arman, in front of packed stands, how did you turn fan support into advantage? And there did come a point where there were 3 losses on the trot. You had to bounce back, but fans were with you. So this is something that is always spoken about. You're playing at home. There's the advantage, but there's also fans, every human being wanting you to achieve the result. How did you turn that into your advantage?
Well, this was the first time when, as a team, because we are playing at home and home crowd, because wherever we go, we always see, we are always getting support from fans. But earlier our team used to feel pressure because we were not used to that kind of atmosphere. But this time, everybody in the dressing room, they were enjoying that. They were having fun, every time we were entering the ground, seeing packed stadium, that was giving us so much strength to do well. I think they've been amazing, and we are so grateful. Now they are even liking women's cricket. They want us to keep playing, playing and matches on TV. So I think that is something, we were really looking forward, and I'm so grateful that, nowadays we are getting so much cricket and so much fun on the field.
Surya, tell us, you're part of the team, you're out there, you're about to step onto the field. It's a big game that's on stake, and then you're playing in front of your home crowd. So, everyone is going to be cheering for you. There's going to be stands packed with those blue jerseys. What is it that you tell the boys? And this is obviously a very fearless generation that goes out and plays a very attacking brand of cricket. So, how is that pressure conversation? How does that come in, with fans playing at home, and how do you deal with that?
Well, the boys are very excited. Everyone is very keen to be a part of this squad going into the T20 World Cup, and I've shared a lot of experiences. I have been part of a wonderful unit in 2023 when we played ODI World Cup in India. The vibe was completely different. I've told them clearly it's a completely different ball game. Yes, the fans will be similar how you see in franchise cricket, but when India comes in picture, when you play for the country, it has a completely different emotion altogether. So they are very excited. We've been trying to play a different brand of cricket. Hopefully we continue the same thing going into the World Cup. But yes, everyone is really excited. Playing in India, I'm sure it will be a different feeling, and leading the T20 side in India, Very challenging, yes. There will be pressure, but at the same time, unbelievable amount of support from everyone in India and all across the globe. So it's going to be a great one, great moment.
Rohit, when you get to enter that dressing room, I know it's in a different capacity, but it won't just be as a brand ambassador. It will be the captain. You've almost assembled a lot of these boys. What are you going to tell them when they embark on this campaign?
Still some time to go. I think we're going to... I keep meeting all these guys. I'm still playing. I'm going to go to Ranchi and meet some of these guys there who are going to be part of the T20 setup. And there's always a conversation that happens between the players. And I am somebody who likes to talk, discuss, get into their mindset a little bit and understand what they're thinking. And, you know, I've always been a person who's there to, you know, provide an advice if there is one to be given, or hear them out and see if there's a solution that can be found for that. So I like doing that. That comes very naturally to me as well. But again, look, like I said, you know, these guys are having a great run of late. You know, I don't think there's much that needs to be changed. And I was literally there a year back, so I understand all this pressure from the outside and all that. So I'm not going to tell him that either, that shut the outside noise, because that is something that we've created amongst ourselves, where when there's a job at hand, how to focus on that particular thing. And I'm sure some of these guys are pretty good at that. There are a lot of the new guys who have come in as well, but I think they've settled in pretty nicely. So it's just now carrying from you know, where they left in Australia, and they've got 10 games before that, you know, before the World Cup. 5 now against South Africa, 5 against New Zealand. Both are a very good team. And then they can see themselves where they stand, what needs to be done. You know, the final prep obviously will be just around, I think, when they play New Zealand. That's when they should try and get their playing 11, or not playing 11, but at least they're 15 in their mind, and then go with that. There's no right or wrong. You know, obviously, you always try and make decisions what is right for your team, but things can obviously sometimes not work out for you. But that doesn't mean you made a mistake. You always try and make the decision based on what you think is right for the team, and then go with that and back that thought, back that ideology that you had before the tournament. Nothing changes within the span of 1 month. You know, you had a certain thought before the tournament started, and I don't see any reason why that needs to change when you are into the middle of the tournament and something goes wrong, or, you know, things are not working out. There's always quality in that team, you know, to try and bring in someone. If they need to bring in someone. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty settled team, pretty relaxed. All they just need to do now is, you know, enjoy that moment, because you don't get to play World Cup every time. These World Cups are very, very important, and cherish and enjoy whenever you have the opportunity. Anyway, that's it. I think I'm just talking like a mental coach here. I don't want to do that, you know, because eventually it's about enjoying as well. So which I think will be my last, I wouldn't say advice, but something that I'll tell all these guys.
Everybody here would love to listen to as much as what you've got to say, and to get a little sneak peek into the conversations that you have with your Garden Boys clubs, as we call that. Sanjog, I mean, this is a tournament that is going to touch different geographies, going to go deeper into a lot of new markets. So from that global ambition that you had mentioned in your opening remarks, what is on the agenda for the ICC to make it truly that spectacle? It's in India and Sri Lanka. The color, the grandeur is there. So to level that up in terms of the experience for everyone involved in watching.
Yeah, so I think one request, urge, that, you know, I would urge Indian fans and Sri Lankan fans to come to the stadium to cheer for not just the Indian and Sri Lankan teams, but to come out and cheer for all these 18 other teams that are going to be participating in the event. It's important that it is genuinely seen to be a celebration of possibilities. And as Rohit said, and then Surya said, on any given day, the most entertaining T20 game could involve two teams that you weren't cheering for, but it still makes for a great spectacle of cricket. So one thing I would urge fans across the country, in India and in Sri Lanka, is to turn up at the stadium and cheer for these teams that are genuinely striving to punch above their weight. And you never know where the next thriller is coming from in the T20 format. So that's one thing that the ICC would be, along with BCCI and Sri Lanka Cricket, as well as the state associations, are trying their level best to do, is to invite as many fans into the stadium as possible, because as all three of them will testify, a game in front of a packed stadium feels a different game. And that's what we should be, as the cricket-loving nation that we are and the region that we are, we should be offering to all 20 teams that are playing across the two countries and the 8 venues. I think from a global point of view, it's a very interesting opportunity for us. Cricket, as you know, is also a part of the Olympics in 2028. I can tell you that there are more countries now vying for a spot in the future of the Olympics than ever before. We have more than 100 countries that play cricket today. There is more support and more clamor to play the game today than there has been. And I think this event is truly a showcase of what cricket can be at a global stage. We're already the second largest sport in the world after football. But we are the second largest sport in the world largely because one particular country loves the sport as much as it does. Here's an opportunity to not just be the second largest sport because of one country, but to truly be a global sport that is cherished, loved, and followed around the world, and not just in particular regions. And this is the showcase or a platform for us to strive towards that ambition.
I'm sure fans in India and Sri Lanka will not let anybody down, and that's what we're hoping for. Now, here's a hypothetical question, Surya, which was actually debated a lot, and then, because we usually know that you could get a diplomatic answer, but then everybody said with Surya, there's no diplomacy. He'll give you the answer that you're looking for. So it's a hypothetical situation. You've made it to the final, and winning the trophy in itself is very special. But which is that one team that you'd like to play and win that final against? It's a hypothetical situation. Harman and Rohit are probably going to be put this question to next, depending on your answer.
Narendra Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad, Australia. Definitely.
India versus Australia, the Narendra Modi Stadium. Harman, I know it was a very high-octane game against South Africa, who challenged you, but the semi-final was a night to remember. It was Australia there. If this hypothetical situation is to come, are you backing Surya?
Well, no matter whoever's come, but I think game should be very relaxed and calm. They should win easily without any pressure. That is my wishes
He's
to them.
giving a diplomatic answer. This is not allowed.
I think Australia is the only team we all, want to beat, because I think that game's always, stays with you. So I think that is the team. Even if they come, they should beat one side.
Rohit? Finish it. Have the last word. Have the last word.
ICC side se bolo.
We need the mic.
Obviously, I want India to be in the finals. I don't really, can't really put my finger on another team and say this and that. What has happened in the past has happened. I know it was, Surya said it with a very with a very heavy heart there, with Australia coming there and beating them in the same stadium. But I think India playing final against any team and India coming on top is what I would love to see. And pretty sure, I don't know what the others want, but I don't care about the opposition, to be honest. I prefer India to be there, and then let's see what happens.
Look at Surya. He's been waiting because we thought twice or thrice in this answer we might just get a team.
No, look, with with that finals in Ahmedabad, God has been very kind, where we went on to win the finals from the position that we were in, and to go on to win that finals after that. It was truly a miracle, and then 6 months, 8 months later, India go on to win another ICC trophy. So I'm pretty happy with that.
We'll take that. We'll take that, Rohit. Thank you so much. As we know, the teams are divided into 4 groups, and the top 2 teams from each group are going to make it to the Super 8s. Just quickly going through the format of this ICC Men's T20 World Cup. 8 teams that will then take on each other in the Super 8s, and the top 4 will make it to the semi-finals. Depending on who qualifies, the first semi-final will either be in Kolkata or it will be in Colombo, with the second one being in Mumbai. And then again, the final, depending on the teams that make it, will take on each other at either Colombo or in Ahmedabad on the 8th of March. Sanjog, what would success look like for you? Making sure cricket just goes. Just closing remarks for this tournament to be a grand success. Returns to India after 2016, to Sri Lanka after 2012. What would success look like?
I think success for any ICC event looks very similar. It should be inspiring the next generation of fans and cricketers alike. I think when we had met, as I said earlier, at the launch of the Women's World Cup, the ICC chair had put forth this ambition where the event should not be seen just as an event, but genuinely as an opportunity to spark what can be the next phase of that movement. I think we are at an interesting journey in cricket, both in India and around the world. I think it's about inspiring young kids to continue to love the game as much as all of us have when we were growing up, and continue to do so. And it's about attracting newer audiences around the world to also give cricket a chance to feature alongside the sports that they already love. And I think that's what success to me looks like. It's the 5 to 10-year-olds in India falling in love with new heroes, looking forward to the events, going out, picking up a bat, playing cricket. But it's also about new fans around the world who haven't heard of cricket to actually watch, feel excited about it, and perhaps give it a chance to, as I said, feature in their consideration set of sports they watch.
Yeah, the youngsters pick up the bat and ball for the love of it, have new heroes, and I'm sure, Surya, the entire nucleus right now, I mean, they're already heroes, they're fearless, they're playing a great brand. You've got some great competition that will be lined up. I'm sure everyone is really looking forward to the tournament, and the conversations must have begun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as soon as they got to know that the T20 World Cup is in India, the conversations already started, how exciting it's going to be. And I mean, as I said, they are very excited. And the moment we started playing this format after the 2024 T20 World Cup, we wanted to play a different brand of cricket, do something different than what was happening before that. So yeah, it is very exciting. The conversations in the group are very, very positive, and everyone is very, very excited.
Yeah, the question is, no team has ever defended the crown. Will that happen? No teams won at home. Will that happen? There could be a lot of firsts, a lot of historic moments that could feature in this 10th edition of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. A quick look at the fixtures of the opening day then. That will be on the 7th of February 2026. It will be Pakistan versus the Netherlands. That is the first game that will kickstart in Colombo. In the afternoon, it will be 2-time champions, the West Indies, taking on Bangladesh at Eden Gardens in Kolkata. And then it will be the defending champions who will walk out at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai to start their campaign against the US of A. Surya, thank you so much from all the Indian fans. Wishing you all the very best for the tournament. May you play your hearts out and may you go on to achieve great things. May it just be a spectacular tournament for all of you and all the competitors who are probably watching as well. Harman, once again, thank you so much for joining us and for the great memories that you brought to the entire nation about a month ago. And Rohit Sharma, we will see you in a great capacity through the tournament. And of course, shortly from now, on the field with the bat in hand as well. We are all excited for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to all our dignitaries and officials from the ICC, the BCCI, Sri Lanka Cricket, all our fans who've tuned in from all over the world. We will see you at this 10th edition of this global showpiece event, and the countdown for that is officially on.